Hello and welcome to Oregon Horse Council's new Know Your Industry webinar. We are excited to bring more information to equestrians across Oregon about our industry. Today we're excited to have the co-principal brokers of Horsepower Real Estate. So we have Peggy Kernan and Lisa Johnson on with us, and they're going to talk a little bit about the real estate market in Oregon right now. I know spring is often an exciting time for everyone to get houses listed and go shopping, but this virus has kind of probably made some things change. So we're going to hear from your ladies' experience on what this is kind of looking like across the real estate market. So welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Brandy. Nice to be here.
Hi. So first of all, Lisa, how are you guys seeing the farm ranch real estate market be right now amidst this disaster?
Disaster. Well, obviously real estate in Oregon, just as across the United States, is pretty slow, as you can imagine. We are seeing activity across the board in Oregon, from in-town properties up to larger tracts. And I've pulled some really interesting market stats to get ready for this call. We've been watching it pretty closely, but I really dug deep for you guys. And so I pulled the stats from the RMLS system, which is just one of the multiple listing systems in the state of Oregon. So it's likely there's more activity than this, but this will give us a pretty good idea of rural residential. So pulled from Portland to Douglas County, including the coastal counties. And most all of these numbers are actually up from February. So that's so far good news. So in the 5 to 20 acre category in March, we saw 104 new listings go on the market. Currently there's 325 actives. 74 of those properties went pending, or of the 325, 74 properties went pending, 84 properties closed, and just for comparison, 80 properties closed in that same time frame in 2019. So in the 21 to 100 acre property range, 27 new listings were entered. Currently there's 176 available. 23 properties went pending and 17 properties closed in the month of March, whereas in 2019, 20 had closed. So there's not a big difference there either. 100 acre plus, that's usually a smaller number anyway. 9 new listings were entered in the month of March. There's currently 61 available. 2 went pending and 2 closed. In 2019, 5 properties had closed in that same time frame. So far in April, for properties over 5 acres, we've seen 30 new listings added, 16 properties go pending, and 8 sales close. And then in the bare land listings, these are properties that don't usually have a home on them. Since March 1st, there were 98 new listings in the 5 acres and over. 47 properties went pending and 41 closed. So although it's slow, definitely still functioning, and it will be really interesting to watch the numbers in the month of April.
Yeah, so it sounds like March wasn't too different from a year ago.
As far as the closed sales, that's correct. As far as active and pending, those numbers declined substantially, but there's still activity, which is good. A lot of people are being very, very careful out there, still working for people, but just taking it real safe.
Yeah, definitely. So Peggy, what are you seeing if somebody is trying to buy right now? Obviously, it sounds like there are some hitting the market. There's still live listings. But what recommendations are you seeing for folks who are needing to purchase or wanting to purchase right now?
Well, I think, the sunshine is coming out. So that usually brings a lot more listings and a lot more choices for buyers. And buyers, the important thing is they have to feel comfortable about their financial situation right now. Interest rates are still really good. The number of listings for Willamette Valley multiple listing is just slightly more than the February listings, the number of listings in February of 2019. So typically the last few years we have had, the inventory is a little bit short. So, but right now more than ever, buyers need to have their ducks in a row if they're thinking about buying. Most sellers are requiring pre-approval letters just to get in to see a property, which is not unlike what it has been in the past. And some sellers are not even allowing people to look if they have a house to sell unless it already has an offer on it. So buyers just need to be really prepared. They need to shop around for a lender. Interest rates are all over the place right now. And it's important to work always with a lender that is familiar with the kind of property you're buying, and they can help buyers right now determine what kind of financing works best for them. And then lastly, I think it's really important right now is to partner with a really good realtor that can advise on property values and keep an eye on the market. Lisa and I have always talked about this. If you show up at a acreage property showing and the realtor has high heels on, it's probably not a good sign. And, but anyway, lastly, I think that people shouldn't panic. They still need to take their time and make the choice that's right for them. So.
Are you feeling like we're going to see a decrease in buyers out there because of everyone's financial uncertainty for a while?
I think that it depends on what area you're in. If you're in an area that has, for instance, I live in the Salem area, and we still have a lot of state workers and people that still have their jobs. And I think some of the harder hit areas might be some of the areas, more areas where there isn't that type of workforce. But buyers are still out there. They're a little hesitant to look at properties, but I'm still working with buyers. They're still interested. We're just being very careful.
Yeah. So Lisa, if somebody's trying to sell right now, I know my neighbors just listed their property, and I'm hoping for like the best buyer ever because they line our fence. So if someone's going to sell right now and they're like, oh, should we wait? Should we do it? What kind of recommendations do you have for them? I know a lot of folks have some downtime right now. So if you're going to get prepped to sell, I mean, I know I'm out in the yard more than usual and getting projects done.
Yeah, so, well, obviously health and safety is number one for us and our main concern. So we've found ways to get things done with just little or no contact because of technology. We think it's a good time to be on the market because there is so much browsing activity going on and there's not a lot of inventory. And so if you don't want any showings right now, that's totally okay too, because we can do, we've done it where sellers have provided some interior photos or video, and we also have access and professionals where we can do very low contact professional photography. There's floor plan shots, there's 360 photography, drone videos obviously aren't going to be any contact. Peggy's done some online open houses that I think went well. We just really have the ability to market a property very effectively with very little to no contact. If you're a seller that is open to showings right now, buyers would be screened for pre-approval, and we also have a health questionnaire that we have buyers and their realtors fill out that sellers can look over and just see how they feel about letting people, come in and take a look at their house. A couple of showings that I did, we just did exterior viewing of the land and the exterior buildings, and then the sellers provided a bunch of great videos from inside their home, and that worked out just fine. So many buyers, like I said, are online browsing. Most of them that were looking in February and had intended on buying a home or a property this spring are still going to want to do that as soon as they're able. And so, again, if you don't want to wait to go on the market, get it on. If you do want to wait, this is definitely a great time to get the yard looking perfect, take care of the clutter, and just pack up some things that you're not going to need and start your Goodwill store pile and your yard sale pile. That's what people usually do. So there's a lot of things you can be working on. We can help you if you're ready to go.
Wonderful. So if people are in the process of buying or selling, are you guys seeing a lot of changes around how agents, inspectors, those folks are handling when you do have to actually go onto the property? Right. Everybody's concerned and wanting to follow safety measures.
Right. Yeah, what I feel like going to show a property right now is like entering a crime scene. I mean, and I think I was at a home inspection not too long ago. He had Clorox wipes for everyone at the property. Everybody maintained their distance. It was a new construction home, so there weren't sellers there, which made it a little bit easier. But I know that when I show property, I have my COVID basket, and it has gloves, wipes, foot coverings. I wear a mask. I mean, and I think that it's really important. I'm encouraging buyers to do drive-bys to see if it's in the neighborhood or if it's in the area that they like. I'm asking sellers to turn on all the lights, open all the doors, so there's minimum contact. And when we do go in the house, I'm asking my clients not to touch anything. And I wear a glove, and I open the cabinets, and I open the doors, turn on and off lights. And I think right now our buyer and seller's safety and health is really one of our top priorities right now.
Sure.
You ladies are doing such an amazing job being on top of this. And I'm assuming many realtors, you guys probably, are a member of your local associations. You're talking with other realtors. Is kind of what you're hearing across the board, folks doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone is being very careful. I have had some calls from realtors that don't know if their clients are pre-approved, which is very frustrating. Mm-hmm. I think we all need to play a big role in making sure the people that we are showing property to are pre-approved and ready to go. So, I mean, I have had a few phone calls like that. So I hope that people will step it up a bit.
So are you hearing any issues with, getting down to signing the paperwork and locking it in? I mean, I know I had to sit into an office for about 4 hours signing my life away. I felt like when I bought last. Are, the lenders and such, are they still functioning? I know some of the offices are closed, they're working from home. Are they still able to do meetings, get everything signed, or are they switching over to more DocuSign where you don't even have to be in person?
They really are making some adjustments for us right now, which is fantastic. Everybody knows that certain things need to continue happening when people are living out of boxes and ready to go. So even with the escrow companies being closed to the public at the moment, there's usually somebody on the receiving end for loan documents, and they'll send mobile notary, or I have one escrow officer that allowed the clients to have the documents emailed to them, sign at home, and she picked it up at their gate and did the notary work on it. So just people are being flexible, but really if you're in the middle of a transaction, stay ahead of it and checking on who's available and how you're going to get things done, because you don't want to be caught at the last minute wishing you would have contacted somebody 2 weeks ago to just make sure you knew how it was going to go down.
Yeah, that's great advice, because the timing is everything, getting
Mm-hmm.
all those ducks in a row, and
Yeah.
You'd hate to be held up because your office is closed and you didn't know it. So what are you ladies seeing just in the industry? I mean, this is April. No one knows when this exactly is going to end. But are you guys hearing any forecasts or ideas of what the next couple months may look like?
So obviously the timelines is what none of us really knows, but our colleagues in farm and ranch and rural real estate all across the United States feel like there's going to be probably a surge to the countryside. I've heard it directly from realtors that have gotten phone calls that just say people want to get out of the city. And even one of my doctors in Portland told me yesterday on our doctor's appointment webinar, he said, you do farm and ranch real estate? Yep. He said, I want one.
Those of us in rural are like, no, don't flood our areas.
Right. He lives downtown Portland and he wants somewhere to go. So I think that country property is going to be a very desirable segment of the real estate industry here pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I did want to add one more thing that wasn't on your list. Just some advice and people need to be really careful. I know that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are offering no payments or lower payments for up to 12 months on their loans. And what people don't understand is that that does not mean it's a forgiveness of payment, and it doesn't mean those payments are going to be tacked on the end of their mortgage. What it means is after that time period, they're going to be asked to increase their payments so they can catch up, or, you know, and that could be a real hardship on people. And so it's called forbearance, and they really need, before they decide to sign an agreement, they really need to read all of those terms. And along with that, if people can pay their rent, that is another huge thing. It's not a forgiveness of rent. There are no evictions until, I believe it's July 25th. And that also can affect some of our properties that may have tenants in them. So if you're buying or selling a property that has a tenant, keep in mind that there is no evictions that will happen until July 25th. So if you can make those payments, rent or mortgage, it's really to your advantage if you can just hang in there. So
yeah, those are very good points that I hadn't thought of. That's the hard thing. We're all in a situation none of us planned to ever potentially be in. So navigating the waters and having trusted folks that you can work with that have thought this through, like you ladies have, definitely helps when buyers and sellers are out there wondering what the next step is for them in this strange time. So
yeah.
Anything else to add that would be helpful for folks?
Oh,
We
I
covered
just
a
think
lot.
our hearts and our prayers are going out to everybody that's affected by this. There's just the schools and people's families, and it's a rough time right now. So everybody just needs to hang in there and be kind and be patient and keep the prayers going up, and we'll make it through this.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep. Well, thank you both so much. Again, Horsepower Real Estate. We have Lisa Johnson, Peggy Kernan. I appreciate your support of Oregon Horse Council and your time today to help folks learn a little more about how the real estate market in Oregon is working. And we wish you both the best. Stay safe out there. I love Peggy's COVID basket. It sounds like you got it all together.
I've got it right here.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Who knew that like toilet paper and bleach wipes would be the most important things in the world right now? All right, ladies, take care. And we will be talking with you later. Thanks so much.
Okay. All right. Take care, Brandy. Stay healthy. All right.